Hello, Michael. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you very much for your time. Conjuring 4 is based on a real life story. So, how much we know from media reports made it into the movie? And how much is just pure fiction?
It's always a blend of the two. I think that with this one, we worked with the Smurl sisters, and they consulted with us as we were developing the story, as we were going into production, and even down to details on the house they were commenting on, and it was really important to me that we just really involve them as much as possible so we could tell a very authentic story. And I think that's kind of the power of these stories, is they're based on true events, and I think fans appreciate it, and I think it makes the movie more authentic.
What I really loved about the movie was the storyline and that it gives the audience a small happy ending. So what made you decide to choose that kind of ending instead of a shocking classical horror final?
It's I think it was something we wanted to have a really to send people off on a good note. I think that it was important that this is the last chapter of their family story, and I think that we want to remember them fondly. And even though they've both passed, I think it was just important to honor them and honor their legacy.
In Conjuring 4, we don't just see the Warrens doing their creepy work. We also see them in their private lives as parents. So, how did you came up with this idea? And as a father, do you see the fear for your own child as a real horror?
Absolutely. That opening scene wasn't in the first draft. It was actually something that the script when it was given to me was incredible. David Leslie Johnson did a great job on that. It the only thing is the opening wasn't quite. It was a different opening. It was almost kind of like a gag opening, and it was something that I think all of us knew that it really needed to start with a bang. And so I pitched that idea of the idea of Judy's birth, and just telling it in this kind of gut punch, jaw dropping conjuring moment. And I think it was something that really I think it really anchored audiences when they're seeing the movie into this is going to be a high stakes story. And as you said, very much so, it is about being a parent. I think, I have two little kids, and just the experience of being a parent has changed me, and just, changed my perspective on the world. And, so much of the movie is a story about parents and children, and just our relationship with both. And, I think that, yeah, the fear of losing a child is incredibly high. I think there's even other elements in the movie, so much of it, like I was able to inject all these kind of autobiographical moments, when Tony proposes. That's actually very similar, not quite as harsh, but it's very similar to my own experience when I was asking for the blessing from my in-laws.